Hey, I'm Olivia,
And hey, I'm Dad.
and you're listening to Soarin' Around WDW. All right, everybody, welcome back this week to our special 1 year anniversary episode. We are so excited to have you here. And back with me today for part of the episode is Regan. So, welcome back, Regan.
Hello. It's been a minute.
It's been a long minute. We are here today to celebrate our 1 year podcast anniversary, which is so exciting. Technically, it was last week, but we wanted to finish out our Animal Kingdom Parks of the Present series before we jumped into this 1 year anniversary episode. So we wanted to take this chance first and foremost to celebrate you, our listeners. We have truly been so lucky to find the friendships that we have through this podcast and have gotten to virtually meet some amazing people and creators through this. In order to thank you all, we wanted to celebrate this milestone by doing a giveaway. So that's right, we will be giving away a $25 Disney gift card, a pin and lanyard set from Disney's 70th celebration, and some Soarin' Around WDW stickers. We will have one first place winner who will get all three, the gift card, a pin and lanyard, and a sticker. One second place winner who will get a lanyard and a sticker. And one third place winner who will get a show sticker. So in order to get entries into our giveaway, here's what you need to do. First, you're already listening to this episode. So what you need to pay attention to is commenting your answer to our question during today's episode, either on Instagram, Spotify, or YouTube. You'll know it's the question you should answer because I will tell you that it will give you the entry into the giveaway. This is required to get into the giveaway, so be sure to get your ears ready. Additional bonus entries will include following us on Instagram. Please don't follow to unfollow, that's just no fun. Once you follow us, send me a message and say this is for the giveaway. So if you already follow us, thank you so much for doing so. And just send me a message letting me know you follow, and I will count that as an additional entry. The next way to get a bonus entry is to subscribe to us, whether that is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, and leave us a comment or review. Then send a screenshot of your subscription as well as comment or review to the Instagram page. The last way to earn an entry is to share our giveaway reel to your stories on Instagram and tag us in the story post. So that's it. You have 4 opportunities to earn entries to this giveaway. Thanks again for listening over this year. It's been so fun getting to know you all, and we're excited to see what comes in this next year of podcasting. So wanted to go through some Disney news with
Mhm.
Regan here because I feel like he is the one that I always talk to about things like this. So wanted to get his opinion on some things, his thoughts, and then update you guys on things that I'm sure you've heard of, but things that have been happening around the world, not just in Orlando, but also in Disneyland, and then some stuff from overseas as well. So first things first, Elio premiered as the worst ranking Pixar movie premiere of all time. It brought in about $21 million in the US and Canada, according to Variety. And the movie cost about $250 million to produce and market. It only brought in $14 million internationally opening weekend. So the global debut was $35 million. I think, there's been a lot of debate about is this because Disney doesn't support original stories as much as far as like marketing and production? Is it because people just aren't going to see movies anymore with streaming? Or is it because it's just not a great movie? So, what have you heard, Regan? You've not seen it yet, right?
No, it was definitely something that like when we saw the trailers for it, we were like, looks cute and whatever, but I mean, without kids right now, like we don't really go to see like pay that much money to go see an animated movie in theaters,
Yeah.
especially with Disney's strategy of they're kind of like predictable in that like if it does quote unquote bomb, they just throw it on Disney Plus like as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And then you can just watch it there. That happened with Moana 2, even though that didn't bomb, but that was on Disney Plus very quickly, I feel like. The original story versus not original story thing, like you could definitely make a case for the fact that people are more into what's familiar, I think.
Hmm.
But I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that Disney doesn't seem to market as hard with the things that are not remake
Yeah, like remake sequels. And that's what, like, after Snow White bombed, they're like, oh, we're done with live action. They had been talking about Rapunzel. They kind of tabled Rapunzel. But then Lilo and Stitch, which they like heavily promoted, did amazing in
Hmm.
theaters. And now they're back to like, oh, okay, yeah, people like live action. So I feel like they just swing so far too and like put so much weight on some of these
Yeah,
movies. So we are looking forward to going to see it. We're planning to take the kids here soon. And so I'm curious, yeah, I'm curious how what we'll think about it. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It looks cute. We're also one that like unless we really think it's going to be amazing, we don't go to the theaters that often anymore either just because it's expensive and yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with it long term and how quickly that does go on Disney Plus as well because we often have the mindset of like, oh, we'll just wait for it to go on Disney Plus, like whatever. So, we'll see what happens
right.
there. And then Test
Yeah.
Track 3.0 has officially reopened now as of this recording. They had cast member previews, which began on June 27th, and all the finding test phases are now done. So the ride reopened to the public on July 22nd. So following the cast member previews, other eligible groups like annual pass holders, Disney Vacation Club members got the chance to do previews starting July 13th. But they actually did something that I don't know if this is new or I hadn't heard of this before, where they had like a soft open and had a standby line for people. Did you hear about this like on July 11th?
I did see an article about it, and it made me a little confused because I know we're talking like it happened in the past, but it technically hasn't happened as of recording this video.
Yeah.
That I'm going to the parks this weekend, and so I'm curious to know, like, because it's supposed to be like annual pass holder previews this weekend. I don't know if they're gonna have a standby line like on top of the annual pass holder previews, because then it's like just open it. But
Right.
um, I don't know. I've not heard bad things. I've only heard good things about the new system. There's not like the create your own car thing anymore, so that has increased, I think, capacity for the ride, and so I think it'll run smoother.
Mickey's Not So Scary is right around the corner. Actually, it is starting here really soon and it is selling out. So, August 19th is now the second date to sell out, which kind of surprised me. So, the first night is always Halloween night. That sells out super fast, like usually within hours of them opening the tickets. But now the second date to sell out is August 19th. So, I didn't get a chance to look at the trends and see where that's at. In the years past, we've gone in August a couple of times, we've gone in September, and long ago, we always went in October. I don't know. Did we ever? We never did like Halloween night when we went though, when we were younger, right? It was always like another night in October or something.
No, I yeah, no, there's no way we ever went on Halloween night.
Yeah.
No way.
So it's interesting that the August date was the second one to sell out. I don't know if that's just like right before everybody goes back to school or why that one sold out next, but it is great if you've never gotten the chance to do Mickey's Not So Scary. Think about it for next year if you haven't booked your tickets or look at what's still open because it's an awesome party. And then the Seas in Epcot welcomed a new manatee. Her name is Tanny Murrah, so she weighs 300 pounds. She's a big girl. But yeah, she just came to the Seas. And as we've talked about in previous episodes, they've kind of gotten away from longer term rehabilitation. So they only have these animals for like short periods of time before they send them back out either into the wild or to another facility. So she is there currently. Disney Hong Kong also celebrated its 20th anniversary with a celebration called the Most Magical Party of All. And the footage from their nighttime show actually looks super awesome. They did like a combination of drones and fireworks. Did you see the footage of this, Regan?
I did not.
Okay, you should go watch it. It was really cool. It's like the stuff they did with the drones in conjunction with the fireworks. It looked like a really neat and like unique thing that I haven't seen before because I know some parks, like I believe Disneyland Paris, they're all drones, like they don't do fireworks. Is that right?
I don't think so. I think that you might be right. I don't know. It's definitely projections and drones. I don't know if there's also fireworks. I'm not sure. There's definitely
Okay.
drones though.
Yeah, so I feel like the drone thing, like they tried to bring it to Disney Springs over at Disney World, and it was like popular. You saw that show, right? The Disney Springs drone show back a few, like last
Yes.
year or 2 years ago.
I did.
Um,
Yep.
was it cool? Was it like worth it?
I mean, it was cool to a degree. I think it would have been better if it was complemented by other things like projections or fireworks, but I think it was definitely existed to gauge interest in drones
Yeah.
and like it made Disney Springs an absolute nightmare because people would just crowd the paths to
Yeah.
get to the place where you could watch the show, and then leaving after the show was horrible. But I think the interest was definitely there.
It'll be interesting to see if they end up bringing that to any of the parks at Disney World or if they, don't end up doing anything over here with it. The Dinoland Boneyard over at Animal Kingdom will also permanently be closing September 1st, and rumor has it that they are going to still have a play area in the Tropical Americas rethemed land, but obviously it will be different than it currently is. We actually weren't sure if they were going to change this or not because it's like, well, archaeology, Indiana Jones, like you could see it maybe still fitting, but they did announce that it is closing and it did say permanently closed from what I read, but I haven't heard too much else in the way of like what they're doing over there. Have you heard anything else, any updates about Animal Kingdom and Indiana Jones and construction stuff?
No, I mean I know the walls are up. We won't hear much about Indiana Jones, I don't think, until Dinosaur closes. But
Yeah,
I
true.
know that most of Dino Land seems to be cleared out. But I'll have a better gauge on it this weekend to see like how much progress they've made on the Encanto stuff. But I doubt very much. I would think the vast majority of it will take place in the second half of this year, um, and
Do you think
most
we're
of
gonna
this
find
or
out
most of next
more?
year.
Do you think we're gonna find out more at D23? Like that's coming up here soon?
No, I I think I think they'll probably announce a date next year
Okay.
for it. I don't think they have much to say right now. Like it's
Yeah.
just like kind of in the beginning stages, kind of like closing the like they're kind of just starting all the stuff they announced last year, this year. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they won't give many updates on parks things unless it's international.
Yeah, that's true. And then going through to Epcot, back to Epcot, there was a guest that fell in the water at Living with the Land after trying to retrieve their phone. And there was a video that was posted
Yeah, I
June
heard about this.
23rd. Yeah, it was wild. So the TikTok user was at Sunshine Soul Co underscore Florida, and it shows the guest climbing out of the water in one of the Living with the Land tunnels, kind of leading into one of the greenhouses, and the guest runs along the ledge through some of the sand in the greenhouse, touching an area that they're not supposed to be in, obviously, and then climbs back into the boat. I don't know. I'm guessing they got their phone. Like, I don't know if they dropped it in the water, if they dropped it in the ledge. It was kind of hard to tell in the video, but people are just like wild. It's so like all the people that are climbing out of stuff and just like, and I'm guessing they're like banned forever, right? Isn't that kind of like how it goes?
I don't know. I mean, I would assume so. Just because like that kind of a person is going to put their lives and other people's lives in jeopardy for a phone. Like,
Yeah.
not that living with the land is gonna kill you, but like you
Yeah.
don't know the machinery and stuff that's pushing that boat along. Um, so I don't know. I've always been. I guess that was probably just instilled to us by our parents growing up. But like, you just don't get out of the boat
Yeah.
or you die. Like
Yeah.
those.
I also think we had
Like,
like traumatic things happen, like the guy at Splash Mountain that like got crushed and killed, and like when we were young. So I feel like it also is just
yeah.
like a you literally do die, so like don't do it. I don't know. We just like ne it never even like crossed my mind to try something like that. So I mean, I'm also very type A rule follower, so it probably would have never crossed my mind,
Yeah.
period. But yeah, it's just
Right.
interesting how many people are climbing out of stuff and like doing crazy stuff. And then Hall of Presidents is now reopened. It opened the end of June, so Donald Trump is back in the front. They did change his portion a little bit from when he had been there prior. So that has reopened. There were a lot of rumors about like maybe it won't reopen. Maybe they'll turn that into Muppet 3D. Maybe they'll do something different, but it is reopened. So all of those rumors can be squashed. And speaking of being over there in Liberty Square, now as of July 7th, the Liberty Square riverboat at Magic Kingdom and Tom Sawyer Island has permanently closed. So the last day of operation
Woo!
was July 6th. I know Regan's so thrilled. Everybody is like so mad about it, and Regan's like, no, for
I
the challenge.
just cannot. I've never been more grateful for something being closed. Like because it knocks out that and it knocks out the rafts, which so like now parkeology and every ride could be the same thing again.
Yeah.
Like
But what about
so
Main Street
yeah.
vehicles? Like that, they're still kind of on the fence about that one.
Main Street Vehicles is a bonus ride on every ride, so you still get credit with it and points with it. So
It should
It
just
just
be
doesn't
counted
count for a
then.
full completion. I agree, but it's not consistent enough. But it's been super consistent lately. It's been out till like 6, 7 p.m. every day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, but yeah, so big deal that that is closed. So now they are making way for the new Piston Peak National Park. And during the last few days, they did have extended hours for the riverboat. It was open like 10 to 8 p.m. instead of closing earlier, which is also a bonus when you're trying to do a challenge run because it is one of the early closers you have to worry about. But
mhm.
what have you seen the concept art? I'm sure you have for Piston Peak, and like what do you think about the way that they're trying to like mold it in with Big Thunder and everything?
I think it looks great. It looks like they really put a lot of emphasis and effort on what Frontierland is. It reminds me a
Yeah.
lot of like Grizzly River Peak area
Yeah.
in California Adventure. Um, but I'm sure it's gonna be beautiful. The water elements will be cool. And honestly, like I'm always gonna preach this, but it's just like to be able to go to Magic Kingdom in a few years and have an area be like so new and so fresh and be it's like that hasn't happened in a really long time, like since New Fantasyland. So it'll be nice to have some new stuff to be excited about for that park.
Yeah, definitely excited to see what they do and going to Cars Land and, Radiator Springs area over in California Adventure got me excited. Like, okay, this is really cute. Our kids are really into cars, so that has made it better for sure for me. I will miss the aesthetic, but looking at the concept art, it looks like they're going to do a really good job of blending everything. So, and they always do. So I feel like, they do really cool stuff. It's just, I think, going to blow people away when it's done. And then they also, hopping back over to Epcot, talking about rides closing, Spaceship Earth is going under a refurbishment in August on the 25th, so right after Reeg's birthday, but is expected to reopen later this year. So another Spaceship Earth refurbishment. What do you think they're going to do? Just like tune it up, or do you think they're going to change anything about the end?
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that ride feels like so we obviously didn't make it with the challenge run last
Yeah.
year, but I've been on it several times since then, and like it doesn't feel great. Like it's not comfortable. It's very jerky.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm thinking they're just gonna like smooth it out a bit. I don't think they'll make any like major changes, especially if it's opening same year. Um,
True. That's
but
true. Yeah. They did say,
yeah, I
since they
really
said
wish
later this year.
they'd stop closing stuff. Like I'm trying to get that ride count back up to like
Yeah.
into the 50s, and they keep closing things so consistently. So it's a pain.
Yeah, it makes it hard for us to beat our previous record. So it next year will most likely be the year, but again, it's like people are talking about, okay, so when all this is back up, are they going to take, Space Mountain down and start to redo that? And they do tend, it's like almost impossible. Regan and I were talking about this before a couple weeks ago. It's like the Parkeology challenge that is every single thing that's ever been created that's there open on one day like doesn't even happen anymore, like ever. It's always something is down or something is being
Right.
refurbished. So it's like almost like right
Yeah.
now it is impossible to do that challenge. So if they ever have a day when everything's open, like every single person in the every ride community will be out there trying to get that done because it's so incredibly rare. But yeah, so we'll
Hmm.
see what happens with openings. And the biggest news that's happened since I last did a news update, which is now a little bit old, but the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District has approved a plan that allows for the future development of a fifth major theme park for Disney, along with what it says in the article, two minor ones. So the fifth gate is formally approved, and the approval is from 2035 through the conclusion of the plan in 2045. And this was all according to the Disney Tourist blog. So whether or not a fifth gate will actually be built, obviously there's a lot of different factors. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot, especially with everything going on over at Epic, kind of what they're talking about. But what do you think the odds are that this actually would happen in that time period? Do you think that they would do a fifth gate? Do you think this is just like to have it and to have rumors swirling, like the option to do it? What are your thoughts on this? We haven't talked about this too much.
So the time period is between 2035 and 2045 that they would open this park.
Yeah.
I don't know that I care. Like I hope I don't, but I feel like that's so far away.
Yeah, but if you think about like
I don't
villains and
know. They'd
stuff,
have to
probably won't be
announce.
done till 2030. That's not that much longer after that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, but that's the back end of it. If you're saying
True.
20 years from now, I'll be
Yeah.
nearing 50.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's hard to think about prioritizing that right now, I guess, in my brain. I hope it happens. I obviously would love it. It's just like until there's anything more concrete, I really just don't know how to feel about it.
What do
Because
you
they could
think
just be
about
doing it as like a just in case.
true? What do you think about the verbiage about two minor ones, like along with two minor ones? So it's like the fifth gate and then they like threw that in there. Would that be like water
Could
parks? Would that
That's what I assume is like
okay.
water parks, but like something I think something really minor.
It was
Water
just
parks is
weird.
the first thing that goes to my head, but I don't know what other options there are.
Yeah, I didn't know because obviously it talked about minor, not like hotel, like because I was like, oh, maybe more like yeah, resorts or hotels or something like that, but they didn't specifically say
Right.
that word, so it was interesting. And then as we wrap up in news, what is your opinion on the Yas Island expansion and the new, totally new resort going in over there for Disney?
You talking about the Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I've never heard it referred to as Yas Island.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
it's literally called. That's what it's called is
I thought
Yas
I thought
Island.
that was like a internet term, like
I
yes.
don't think no, I don't think so. I'm gonna look it up. I think it's a real thing. It is a real thing. Island in Abu Dhabi. That's where like all the like theme park things are, like Ferrari World and all that stuff. Like that's where they are. It's literally called Yas, YAS Island.
That's funny. I mean, it's cool. The concept art seems cool. It's like it just adds another park to my bucket list, I suppose. But I don't know that area of the world. It's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I'll ever get over there, but I don't know that I'll ever get to all the other ones either. It just really depends. So, um, yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful. The concept art looks really cool, but obviously they've yet to announce anything outside of the concept art. So who knows even kind of like what rides and what IPs they're going to be using, if any. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it was funny to me the castle, like everybody's like, oh, it looks like glass, like Elsa, like frozen. I'm like in the middle of the desert where it's really hot. Like that would be like
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
oxymoron. But yeah, I know. Yeah, similarly, it's like I really want to get to Shanghai and like Tokyo, so that's definitely would be a priority over going over to the like Qatar area and even Paris. So yeah, it's hard to imagine. And again, same thing as like the fifth gate. Like when would this park even really be done? Or like to the point where people are going there and where we would even consider doing that like a long time from now. So
right.
yeah. We'll see. A lot to come. So, next up is our year in review, and this is going to be where we talk about our top five podcast episodes. So, it's funny if you are a newer listener, these were fan favorites. Go back and give them a listen. If you've been a listener for a long time, we appreciate your listening. But it was interesting to see what was popular on which platforms because certain episodes did really well on YouTube versus Spotify versus Apple. But overall, our top five episodes were episode one, our Disney Journey and D23 predictions. And this was the one that Regan and I recorded a year ago, just kind of walking through D23, what was coming. And it's fun to see kind of what's changed with that since everything was initially announced. This is obviously the episode people go to first when they find our podcast most of the time. But it's funny to go back and hear any of it because it was totally unorganized and we don't really know what we're doing in it. The second episode is actually one of our more recent episodes, the first episode of our Parks of the Present Animal Kingdom. So that one was a fun one to talk about. Our Parks of the Present series has been really popular, and it's fun to get into the Disney history about all the attractions and restaurants and everything that are at the parks. Episode three is episode 39, Parks of the Present Epcot Part One, which was another fan favorite, going through Epcot and different attractions and restaurants there. And then episode 38 with my favorite travel agent, Katie Smith. It was called Long Distance Disney Love, talking about her journey becoming an annual pass holder, how she got her Disney story, and then her experience at Epic Universe at Universal. Episode five is our Parks of the Present Epcot Part 5. That was the last part of our Epcot series, and that was episode 44. So those are the top five ranked from top to number five. We really appreciate all of the listeners. It's been fun getting to hear what you guys really like the most and what you want to hear more of. And Disney history seems to be the ticket. So we've got lots of that coming up, lots of fun stuff coming in the coming months. Now, the time has come for the ultimate top and bottom attractions that you all have been waiting for. So, we are going to pick our overall top five and bottom five attractions for all of Walt Disney World. This is quite the challenge. So, Dad, I'm going to let you go ahead and start off and tell the listeners. Let's start with your bottom five attractions. Which attractions you would be fine to get rid of across the four parks?
I would have to say, don't hate me, Olivia. Figment can go bye-bye.
Oh, no.
Yes, I would say, and I realize it's not just called Figment, but probably another one I wouldn't break my heart would be probably the Tomorrowland Speedway.
Okay, yeah, that's a good choice, I think.
And as I kind of mull around some of the other areas, I would have to say in Toy Story Land at Studios, Alien Swirling Saucers, I think
Yes. Yep.
that can go away. I got two more. I thought about this earlier, but there's so many different attractions that I wouldn't break my heart if they went away. And this sounds kind of strange, but one of the Dumbos could probably go away. One of them. Not you
Okay.
got to keep one, but why did I know what they're trying to do too. I get all that, but I like to see let's put something else there. So let's let that go. And the final one, and these are ones that are staying active, still active right now, right? They're not going
Yep.
away like really soon.
Yeah.
Okay. It's got to be the darn Aladdin's magic carpets. That's just got
Oh,
to go bye-bye.
Okay. Okay. Those are your bottom five. That's
No,
good.
but, yeah.
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 I feel like the only one people will maybe disagree with is Figment, but some people will agree with you. Some people think
Oh,
it
I'm
needs to
sure they
go in
will.
something else. Yeah. Regan, start with your bottom five, and then I'm
mm.
gonna do my bottom five.
Does it have to be things that are now currently open?
Oh gosh, what are you putting in the bottom that's not currently open? You mean like of the past?
Riverboat.
Oh, no, yeah, they have to be currently open. Riverboat doesn't
Okay,
count.
okay, okay, okay. Uh,
Riverboat's
um,
number one bottom for Regan.
yes, it is number one, absolutely number one bottom. Let's see. Living with the Land's definitely on there. Sorry to be a hater.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
what?
very like I'm very like iPad kid, like need entertainment and like going through a bunch of plants just is not
Oh, I
great.
love living with the land. That's so sad.
I actually forced them to knock that off of our trip this weekend because I didn't want to burn 30 minutes on that because I knew that there's only one person that wanted to do it and he's like a diehard fan. Like he did the tour and everything of that ride.
Yeah, I want to
And I
do the
was like, yeah,
tour.
no, one person is not worth being bored for seven people.
Oh my gosh.
So living with, I mean, this is not in any, I guess, specific order, like, because other than Riverboat is the absolute bottom. The attractions including shows.
Yeah.
Oh, well then the rest are shows.
Okay, what which shows would
So
you knock out?
Hall of Presidents,
Oh, mm-hmm.
Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard because I don't go to shows, but like I wouldn't say something like Festival of the Lion King because it is really good.
Yeah.
And like all, I guess Bugs Life closed, Muppet Vision closed. Sorry, that definitely would have been there.
Oh no, you're really gonna make people mad. Coming back on with the hot takes.
Okay, so I'm at three.
Mm-hmm.
I think current state of Space Mountain is in my bottom five,
Okay.
just because it just hurts so bad right now. And then there's not a whole lot that I like severely dislike, I guess. Oh, Frozen Sing Along, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. That's not I'm not a fan of that one either. Yeah, I feel like my bottom would be Barnstormer is my number one. Like, get out of here. I hate it. I wish it would go. I don't care that it's the kiddie,
That's fair.
kiddie version, whatever. I don't like it. So Barnstormer would be up there for me. And yeah, same, like no particular order. Frozen Sing Along for sure would be up there. I cannot
Hmm.
stand that show. So that one can definitely go. I agree with Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. I really hope if they move it to where Muppet Vision was, that they do something different. Like I really, if they just copy and paste that right over there into that same theater, I'm gonna be so mad because I really liked Muppet Vision 3D. So that would be like a stab to the heart if that's what goes in there, even though that's kind of been like rumored. So those three for sure. And then I am gonna say Hall of Presidents because I similarly
Hmm.
like could care less about that show. Don't really have any desire to go back to it. And I know this is kind of like a cop out answer, but I'm gonna say over in Epcot in the China Pavilion, the show
Oh,
there.
well,
I that
see,
doesn't count.
I was gonna say like after before you started, I was gonna say like if there's any shows in the World Showcase, those
Them.
shows, yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like they could do so much more and like Mulan needs something. Like poor Mulan, justice for Mulan. Mulan is
But I'm
such a
trying to
good
think of
movie.
like I was just trying to think of things I like actually do that I don't necessarily enjoy. I
Yeah,
guess
like
like
rides
like
probably.
Barnstormer. I would probably swap Barnstormer for Space Mountain. I
Yeah.
guess like because I don't think about because I only think about that as like I only go on that for the ride challenge, so I'm not really it's not something I typically do.
Oh, actually, this is gonna be a hot take. Okay, I won't say China Pavilion. I will say Navi River Journey, and that might get some people mad.
Whoa.
I'm
Okay.
not
I
into
don't
it.
think it's that bad.
Oh, it's so boring. It's so pointless. The end is cool, and that's it. And I'm like, what?
You like
Why?
living with the land over that?
Yes, I do. I like living with the
Ah,
land over that.
it's way more nice to look at than
I feel
living with
like
the land.
there's nothing to look at until the end.
What do you mean? It's just pretty, the Avatar land. There's the forest and the waterfalls and the lights and the colors.
Eh. Yeah,
I like it.
no, that's my hot take choice, I guess. Okay, so what about your top five attractions?
Probably a little easier. Numero uno, Haunted Mansion at the Magic Kingdom, of course. Number two, Pirates of the Caribbean. Number three, I even though I've only been on it once, uh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Number number four, Hollywood Studios again. So the Rise of the Resistance, I think, is absolutely amazing. If I had developed a ride, I would have developed that ride because I think that's just amazing. And the last one out of the top ones, there's so many. And these are attractions, right? These aren't shows at the end of the day or anything like that, correct?
Yeah, Regan and I, we kind of went back and forth on this, but yeah, we're gonna say attract like rides.
Regular attraction rides.
Mhm.
I there's so many ways to go. I'll go Soarin'. I
Okay,
love Soarin'.
okay. Yeah, that's a good choice. Obviously, for our namesake, that is a good choice. Okay, good. Yeah. So then what about Regan, your top five Disney attractions?
So Guardians number one, without a
Mm.
doubt. It's not even close, really. That ride is pure joy to me. I think I'm in the happiest state I exist in
What's
that
your
ride.
favorite song on that ride?
I have two. I'm super content with either. Conga is definitely up there because it just
Oh,
really sets the vibes. And it was also the first song that Steph and I got. And she was like so excited, and so that's like a core memory of mine. And Everybody Wants to Rule the World, I actually really like just as a song. So I like when I get that, but it definitely shifts the vibe of the ride because it's a slower song.
yeah.
So it's just a little different. But Conga is probably my favorite.
Have you had all the songs?
Yeah, I think so. At least once.
You've
Yeah.
had September?
Yes.
Ugh, I'm jealous. That's the one I want
And
the most.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's your number one. What else?
Second is probably Rise of the
Okay.
Resistance. I don't love Star Wars, but that ride is like when it works, it's like really truly a technological masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like I would sell my left arm for something of that capacity for a Marvel ride.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Gosh, can
like
you
just
imagine?
the immersion, like the storytelling, like the first time I went on that ride is like there hasn't been anything like it. Like Guardians, I was actually upset the first time I went on Guardians because there wasn't enough like Marvel in it. And
Yeah.
so now I love it for like the ride itself, but Rise is just incredible. Incredibly well done. Third is probably Tron right now. I really,
Okay.
really love the ride vehicle and I really, really love the concept. I just wish it was twice as long as it is.
Yeah.
But it's really fun for the time that it goes. and it's something that's really fun to do with first time people that have never done it before.
Yeah.
Um, and so really, really love that ride. And then my last two are Big Thunder and Pirates.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we're very similar. So my top five, Tower of Terror is my number one. I think it will always be my number one until it's no longer, which hopefully will be never. But I love Tower of Terror. Number two is Guardians. That's
Mhm.
definitely really hard to beat. It's just such a good ride. And I love getting Everybody Wants to Rule the World one way or another is another good one, but I really want September. I have not had it yet. So that's funny. I actually like don't love conga. So when you said that, I was like, whenever I get conga, I'm like, blah. Like it's just not my favorite. But I do, yeah, I do like one way or another probably the most on that ride. And then Everybody Wants to Rule the World second. So yeah, those are definitely like easy top two. And then after that, Big Thunder is definitely up there. I think it's just a classic roller coaster. I love going on it with Eiley because it just brings her like so much joy. So the joy like within her just reminds me of, when we were growing up and we've always loved that ride. So
Mhm.
that is up there as well. And then number four for me is probably the Safari, actually. I really like it. I think it's long and it's slow. So for a challenge, it's not great. But I like that it's
Yeah.
different every time. Like you get to see different stuff. Like you could go on it in the morning and go on it again in the afternoon and see like totally different animals. And we've just had like really cool experiences with it. So I would definitely say that. And then number five for me is also Pirates. So I really love Pirates, but now after going to Disneyland, now I'm tainted because their Pirates is so much better. So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like our Pirates plus extra. So I really, really enjoy that ride. We also wanted to take some time and let you all get to know more about us as the hosts. Dad, you got to answer a lot of these questions on your first ever episode when you were a guest before you became a co-host. So why don't you ask us the questions?
What is your favorite park?
Ooh. So, I mean, I think my favorite park, like just from a like if I had to choose a park to go to for the rest of my life, it would be Magic.
Okay.
It has the most to do and it has the most nostalgia and it has the most rides that I'll be able to do with my kid
Yeah.
when she comes. But like if you're going like a ratio of bad rides to good rides, I think Hollywood has the best ratio of that. Like
Yeah.
there's only one, maybe two, depending on the person, skippable rides at Hollywood out of 11. And so like AS2 or Alien Swirling Saucers and Star Tours are like the only two that are like questionable. But
Yeah.
AS2 is fun. It's just a kiddie ride, and then Star Tours some people really love. Like one of the
Not
people in my
me.
group I'm going with this weekend was like the one ride she doesn't want to miss is Star Tours. And I was
What?
like
Oh my
I was like, "Well,
gosh.
don't worry.
Yeah.
Can do." Like,
Has she been on the other stuff?
yeah. She just
What?
says that the rewritability of Star Tours and how it
Well,
changes every time is really fun. I close my eyes for 90% of that ride so I don't get
yeah.
sick, so
Ugh. Yeah,
that
it's
couldn't be
not
me.
for me. No.
So I'd say Magic. I really like a really good runner up is California Adventure. Not necessarily for me, but like it makes my wife very, very happy. And so I love being in that park, especially at night. The vibes in that park at night
Yeah.
are like immaculate. So really, really love California Adventure as well. But I would say for me personally, Magic Kingdom, it'll probably always be Magic Kingdom.
Okay. My favorite park is Hollywood Studios. I feel like that's an easy answer for me. I feel like most people say Magic Kingdom, but I love Hollywood Studios. I really loved it before when it was more of the movie behind the movie theme, but I still love it today. I love the immersive lands. They've done a great job with Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do here with Monsters Inc. and the new animation area. So it's going to be really exciting. But yeah, so my favorite is Hollywood Studios.
That is no surprise to me. Favorite restaurant?
So
Ooh,
yeah, this is tough. So yeah, I similarly love Liberty Tree Tavern. So I think I just have to say that one. It never gets old. I really want to go back again. It's been a while since I've had it, and I haven't had it since they started seating some people in the Golden Horseshoe area, which I wouldn't love as much, but I love the original restaurant. I still wish they had character dining like we talked about before when we were going through Magic Kingdom, but I just love Liberty Tree and the food. It's my favorite for sure.
Oh,
I
I
know.
haven't been to Liberty Tree in a really long time. but I really, really want to, and I miss it very dearly. Liberty Tree is probably still my favorite. I'm a very plain eater, and so when you can just bring me infinite mashed potatoes and turkey and
Yeah.
gravy, like I'm a pretty happy guy. I did really, really, really like the food at Mama Melrose before it closed.
Oh, I
Like
know.
we've gone like 3 or 4 times in the past couple years and just been like blown away every time at the quality of the food. So we were really sad to see that go. Tony's is also a good runner-up. We love Tony's and Magic Kingdom.
Okay, I haven't been in so long, like since we were young kids. So
Yeah.
that's
We've
funny
gone
that
a
you
couple
say that.
times as on date nights and then we went with our friends last year and yeah, it's pretty solid.
What is your favorite memory as a kid at Disney?
This is a really hard one for me because we have so many good memories as kids at Disney. Oh man.
That is tough because you went every other weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we went a lot. So I'm gonna say my favorite memory as a kid at Disney was, even though Regan pouted and didn't love it, getting to be in the Halloween parade. Back when they picked kids to be in the parade, we got to ride on a float in the parade and wave. And basically, when you walked in the park at Mickey's Not So Scary, they said, did they just what? So I mean, I was a kid, so I might not be remembering this right. So correct me if I'm wrong, Dad. But basically you walked in the park and they kind of were watching for families that were dressed not like, in themed costumes. And we were Peter Pan that year. I believe you were Captain Hook. Mom was maybe Tiger Lily. Regan was Peter Pan and I was Tinkerbell. And they
Yes,
asked, basically walked up to us and asked if we wanted to be in the parade and told us what time to be where. Is that right?
that is correct. Yes, we you had to meet behind the Crystal Palace. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember. Yes, we had to meet back kind of behind by the side of where there was a first aid station. We met right there, and that's where they kind of set it all up and brought you backstage to be in the parade, which I thought was super cool. And that was our first Halloween party we did
Oh,
at
it
the Magic
was?
or at that. Oh, that was the very first one. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I remember that like so well. And I remember, being super excited. I thought maybe we got a little certificate. I'm gonna have to look through my Disney stuff and see. But we have a picture somewhere for sure of us like in the float. And I remember in the picture, if I'm remembering right, Regan's kind of pouting and I'm like super excited and waving, which is very
I
accurate
remember. Yes.
of us as kids. Yeah, it's so funny. So that's probably my favorite
Okay.
memory as a kid.
Mm. I think like as a kid, my favorite memory has to be Phantasmic.
Oh, yeah.
Um, just like being able to recite every word of that. The rest of like the memories aren't like specific enough. It's like I remember being too scared to go on Everest, and I remember like going on Big Thunder, but not for the first time. So like I think that Phantasmic is just the ultimate nostalgia piece for me, which is
Yeah.
interesting because it's not in the park that I chose for my favorite,
Yeah.
um but I think just going to Phantasmic as a kid was very jaw-dropping and like I wasn't super impressed with fireworks, so I really liked the performance of Phantasmic.
Okay. And your favorite memory as an adult at Disney?
There's a few. I mean, like going to Disneyland for the first time, like newly married, is definitely up there. That was really fun. And then, I mean, I think our most recent challenge is probably up there in the
Yeah.
favorite memories, just because like we really knew the systems and so we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
Like the first time it was really great, but like we were like it was like running with one leg in comparison to what we knew for
Yeah.
the second
And the
time.
weather was horrible the
And the
first
weather was
time.
horrible. Yeah. So yeah, probably those two things. And oh, the first time I watched Happily Ever After with Steph after we got married was really special.
Yeah.
So that's definitely up there as well.
So again, this is a tough one too, because again, we've been so many times. But I would say my favorite memory as an adult at Disney was when I went back to Hollywood Studios post COVID changes and Fantasmic had reopened with Regan and Steph, Maddie, and Eiley. Blake wasn't around yet, I don't believe, or if she was like a newborn baby. I can't remember. And we went to Fantasmic for the first time that I had seen it since it had reopened. and being there with Regan and the music, and it's our favorite show. We love it so much, and all the changes, and it was just so exciting. And the ending happened, and he says like some imagination, huh? And I'm just like sobbing, which sounds so pathetic, but I'm crying. Regan's crying, and then Eiley goes, Mickey saves the day. And she was so excited. And it was just like the most magical moment. Like she loved it. We love it. And that music is just incredible. So that's probably my favorite memory as an adult, just getting to experience that again after so much anticipation. And I think I hadn't seen it at that point in like 10 years or something. It had been a long time since we had been to Hollywood at night to see Fantasmic. So yeah, that's probably my favorite favorite memory as an adult.
Yes, that does not surprise me either. I figured you'd be fantastic at some level. Favorite ride that is now gone.
Mm,
Not Riverboat, clearly.
no, couldn't be further. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of miss like where the princess meet and greet is at
Oh,
Magic
Snow
Kingdom,
White. Uh-huh.
where Snow White was. Yeah,
Oh,
I
Mr.
I
Toad.
miss I miss I miss Snow White. I like Pooh more than Mr. Toad. Um, so like, but I guess of the rides that have closed, especially on this side of the world, it would be that
Snow
um
White.
Snow White. Like
Yeah, because it was
I probably used
replaced
to
with
think when I was a kid, like missing out on 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and stuff was bad, but then I went on the submarine thing at
oh,
Disneyland and it's awful. It's
awful.
so bad.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Um, yeah.
Okay, so Snow White. Okay. This is a hard one, but I have to say the Great Movie Ride. I think that is one that I like Mickey and Minnie's. I liked it better at Disneyland. I feel like it fits in, they have it in Toontown and it fits there. I don't like that they got rid of the Great Movie Ride. They could have updated it, but just the ending movie montage at the end of that ride when you go and they're showing all these classic films, it's just so incredible. I loved that ride, and I still enjoyed, going through the movies and the animatronics and even the little hokey thing we knew was going to happen every time where, the cast member steals the cart and then he, goes through the Indiana Jones part. That whole thing I just really really enjoyed. So I think that's the one that I miss the most.
Favorite show that is now gone.
There's only one answer
Oh,
to this.
Hunchback.
Oh, what? That's not what I thought you were going to say. That's so funny. Hunchback.
Hunchback
Okay.
for
Okay.
sure. Unless you mean like, do you count like original Phantasmic?
No, I thought you were going to say Tarzan Rocks.
Oh, that too. Dang, yeah. Those are two really good options. But
Yeah.
Hunchback is the first thing that popped in my head for some reason.
Hunchback was so good. That was a good one. Yeah, that's a good choice. So this is harder for me. I loved Doug Live. I loved Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but Tarzan Rocks was just so good. And the live music, the skaters, the, acrobats, I really loved that show. So that's probably my favorite show that's now gone.
And you and Regan introduced it two or three times
Yeah.
also.
We did, and
So,
I think I have certificates from that. I'm gonna have to look, but yes, we did introduce
yeah,
it.
yeah, they gave you certificates. I remember that. And it's the kazoozies or whatever those popsicles were.
Yes, it's a Caduceus, and then I think sometimes the little Minute Maid frozen lemonade with the wooden stick that you could
Right.
eat it with. Yeah.
What is your favorite Disney hotel that you've stayed at?
I mean, like, I guess as a kid, I stayed at Contemporary, so I could say that, but I don't remember it.
This is a hard one too. There's still quite a few that I have not stayed at. I have to say either Wilderness Lodge or I really still love, I don't even know if it really counts, but Swan and Dolphin. I think that's like such an awesome hotel and it's right. I love the Disney Boardwalk area, so I want to stay in more resorts over there. They're just expensive, but being able to walk to Epcot, take the boat and same thing to Hollywood Studios. I love that whole area and I the boardwalk has changed a lot, but I still like the concept. I hope they continue to, change stuff over the years, but a lot of memories over in that hotel. But I did also love Wilderness Lodge, but only stayed there. I believe we only stayed there once as kids. Is that right, Dad? It was with you, so I can't remember if we stayed there more than
That
once.
is correct. Yes. Crystal and Joe Schiller, I think, were with us on that one
Okay.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long, long time ago. What is your dream hotel you haven't stayed in?
We go back and forth. It depends on the time of the year, is how I answer
Okay.
that question. So in the summer, I'd really like to stay at the Polynesian because it fits the vibes. And then in the fall/winter, I want to stay at Wilderness Lodge.
Oh, not
Um,
Grand Floridian in the winter with like Christmas tree gingerbread house thing.
I don't care about Grand Floridian that much because I'm not, even if I have money, I'll never be the kind of person that looks like they should stay in the
True.
Grand Floridian. Like I don't feel like I would
It's
ever
the vibes.
belong
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in that.
Fair.
So no, I think Polynesian, I do, I think Bay Lake Tower is really pretty, so I think staying there would be cool.
Yeah.
But of the hotels I've stayed, I mean, I'm a sucker for the All-Star. Like
Yeah.
it's so consistent. The new rooms since they've redone them are the same as all the other ones, but they're just cheaper. Like, and then the
Yeah.
food court is solid. Like it's I know it's like value. The only thing that I don't love about All-Star is the pools. It's just like they're kind of gross, but like
They're
for
fine.
some reason like specifically gross compared to the rest of the hotels. But like yeah, no, I think All-Star is solid like
And I think
for
with
the
little
price.
kids, like you'll see too, as you start to, become a parent here soon, it's like the kids love the heavy theming. So it's like
Yeah,
it's places like Grand Floridian, they're not impressed with as much usually, but then like the theming, seeing a huge Buzz Lightyear statue or like, things like that, that like
yeah,
impresses them more than fancy
yeah.
hotels.
I really
So
do want to say at Art of Animation real bad.
yeah,
But like
us too.
I looked at the rooms and I was like, oh, the rooms are the same as the All-Star it looks like. So like what is the how do you justify the price? Like so
Skyliner. That is the Skyliner, is it?
yeah, but I
Yes.
don't use that. I use my car.
Yeah, but it's nice to use the Skyliner instead. But yeah, that's true. If money was no object, so I've always kept saying the Riviera, the newer hotel on the Skyliner, but I honestly think I would rather stay at the Boardwalk or Beach Club more because of it being a boardwalk resort in the Epcot. But the Riviera that's on the Skyliner is beautiful. But again, I love the location of Beach Club and the sand bottom pool I've heard is really cool. The shipwreck boat water slide is really cool. So maybe one day we will actually get to stay there. But it's hard for me to justify the cost of some of these hotels. It's
Right.
just
Right.
like astronomical. But yes, if money was no object, Beach Club is what I would pick.
Yeah, the pool there. I also thought the pool was cool with the pirate ship and stuff. Of course, I'm a little pirate crazy. I kind of like all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
your favorite after hours event?
Oh, I mean it's got to just be Halloween. I don't think I mean like I haven't done Jollywood Nights. I'd like to.
Yeah,
But
me
like
too. I really want to do
and like
Jollywood Nights.
The Christmas event I've never really taken advantage of fully.
Yeah,
So I think I would enjoy that as well, but I think Halloween's still my favorite. I think it has the best parade.
for sure.
Um and I don't care about parades that much, but I think that one has the best one. And I really want to see the new one because I
Yeah.
like nighttime parades, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, that will be cool. This should be an easy no-brainer. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That is my favorite. Christmas is not my favorite holiday. Unlike most people, I love Halloween. I love the parade. I love the fireworks. I love the meet and greets that they have. So Mickey's Not So Scary. I think it's going to be hard to ever sway me from that. But I've heard that Jollywood Nights at Hollywood Studios that they do at Christmas time is pretty cool too. So maybe that one, but I haven't been to it yet. So for now, I'm going to say Mickey's Not So Scary is my favorite.
Okay, what is your favorite park snack?
I don't know, I've been a sucker for a pretzel lately. Like a soft pretzel at the
Yeah.
parks. Those kind of hit when you're starving and dehydrated. You
Yeah.
get a Coke and a pretzel. Quite nice.
Coke and a pretzel. Yeah, their pretzels are good. I like them. They're good. So if you would have asked me this a year ago, I would have said a Mickey ice cream bar. But that has now changed. After Eiley and I went on our last trip to Disney World in March for her birthday, we did a little snack run. And now it's the I Lava You float in Adventureland, which is basically Dole Whip with strawberry Fanta and Pop Rocks on it. And Dad knows I love Pop Rocks. So I'm like anything with Pop Rocks is right up my alley. It was like an unexpected surprise. I didn't know that I was gonna love it, but it was so good. So that is now my favorite park snack.
What is your favorite Disney character?
I mean, the only meet and greet I've ever waited for, like as an adult, was Baymax. Um,
Okay, yeah, that's a good answer.
I love Baymax, but I also was with Steph's cousins that had a child.
Yeah. What about just
So,
like if you were gonna get a shirt with a character on it or something, or like merch with a
well, I
character?
don't know. Does like Marvel count? Because
Yeah, sure,
Marvel's
why not?
Disney. Then
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Okay,
Like,
Iron Man.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So my favorite Disney character is Belle. I feel like she's my favorite princess. I love her. I love to read. I love that movie. She is my favorite. So Belle is my favorite Disney character.
Your favorite Disney movie overall?
It's really, really hard to pick one. My top five would be Toy Story 3, Big Hero 6, Treasure Planet, Tarzan, and Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ooh,
Okay. Okay, and that's without Marvel in it.
Correct.
With Marvel, what's your top Marvel movie? Avengers?
Avengers Endgame.
Endgame? Yeah. I'm gonna still say Beauty and the Beast. Tangled is a close one. I love The Princess Diaries is up there. National Treasure is up there. Pirates is up there. It's really hard for me to pick. Toy Story, there's so many good ones, but I think Beauty and the Beast is still my favorite overall. So that's what I'm gonna say. If I had to say Pixar, it would be Toy Story 2. But if we're talking about overall, I'm gonna say Beauty and the Beast.
what do you think makes Disney so special or unique compared to other theme parks?
That's interesting. I think there's a wide variety at Disney of like attractions and thrill levels. I think that as I got older, like I definitely had my phase of like loving the huge coasters and stuff, and like
Yeah.
I think as I got older though, like Guardians and like that level of thrill and joy is like where I kind of want to live. Like I don't love just giant drops for the sake of it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like a million flips just for the sake of it, because it just makes me a little, it makes me sick. So like I think the variety and also like the peak of thrill being like more about like it being more about joy than thrill, I think, in the
Yeah.
design of the rides. There's obviously a huge nostalgia piece for Disney.
Yeah.
It's having a lot of like childhood memories of going and then also now memories as an adult of getting to take people for the first time with the knowledge level that we have, like we get to provide an experience for our friends and family that's I think just I don't even think they can appreciate how
Yeah.
much it adds to a trip to go with someone that knows as much as we do. And so that's always fun getting to tell people like, "Oh yeah, we went on 50, 51, 52 rides," depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
Uh and then they're like, "Wow, the most I've ever done is like 6 or 7 in a
Yeah.
ride in
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
day." And I'm like, "What are you even doing?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
like what are
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
are you crawling? Like I don't understand." So that aspect of it, so I think like just knowledge of the parks is definitely a piece of it of why I love Disney so much. Like I know how to really use their systems to my benefit.
Yeah.
Something that I think you could just pay for at other parks and it's like not as entertaining. It's why I don't love the idea of Premier Pass
Yeah.
because it just removes the strategy. So it's like I think having to strategize Disney to get what you want is like really cool versus like Universal, where I would love to do the Every Ride Challenge for the three Universal parks now. Like I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, you can kind of, I mean, you still have to strategize a little bit, but you can just buy an Express Pass Unlimited or stay at a hotel that has Express Pass included in it, which is great. And I love that they do that. Like I love
Yeah.
that's an incredible perk that I wish Disney had, but like it removes the strategy from it. I'm not a huge like, oh, the cast members are so magical. Like they do
Yeah.
incredible work, but I feel bad most of the time because I'm like, you're just sitting here sweating and dying, and I just, yeah,
Yeah. We're just living our best lives.
as a working class individual, like I really don't love sometimes like knowing what the cast members have to deal with all the time.
Yeah,
So,
true. So I think that it is special for me in particular because of all the childhood memories, being able to have gone there as a kid so many times and now go back with my kids, just the whole nostalgia aspect. But even I don't know, like a lot of people talk about, negatively about like Disney adults, people that go to Disney that don't have young kids. But I would still consider, even though I have kids and go with my kids, I still consider myself a Disney adult because I would go without kids. I love to go with friends. I love to go with, just you, just Regan. I still find it so fun, so special. It's not just about the childlike aspect. And I think Walt, when he made the parks, didn't just make it for kids. He made it with adults in mind too, which is like so genius. And it's just a very, very special place for the nostalgia factor. So I think that's what makes it special compared to other parks. I think they just do theming so well. And I know Universal's starting to kind of catch up to them in some of that, but just the entire immersiveness, which I know is a very overused word in the Disney world, but the whole like feeling like you're engulfed in these lands and these areas. And for Disney World in particular, the Disney bubble, like when you get onto property, you're in Disney World. Whereas in Anaheim, it felt a little disjointed because you're kind of in the middle of the city and it's when you're in the parks, it is, but like the whole place isn't necessarily as bubbly as Disney World is. But yeah, I think just being able to be immersed in the whole Disney culture and you can have really big theming like at certain hotels like All Star, but then some like nicer, not as heavy theming hotels for people who aren't as into that. So there's a good like variety too, where it's not all in your face Mickey Mouse all the time at every place, which is nice for some people, which I don't mind Mickey Mouse. So either way is fine with me. But yeah, I think that's the difference. So there are some questions that you didn't get to answer, Dad, when you were on the podcast as a guest last time before you transitioned into host. So, what is your favorite overall park?
Well, if I'm just looking at Walt Disney World in general, it will always be the Magic Kingdom because I went to Disneyland back in the day, 1970.
Hmm.
And of course, when the Walt Disney World opened, and what, 71, October 1st, I guess it was, that's all there was, right? Until Epcot came, that was 11 years later. So, yeah, it'll for me, it'll always be the Magic Kingdom, even though I love all the other parks. But I found myself going back to the Magic Kingdom more than any other park, hands down, over the years.
Yeah, and that's like I think that's just where like the magic starts and there's just so many classic rides there. It's hard to pick other parks sometimes. So I get why that's your answer. What is your favorite restaurant?
There's no question it's the Liberty Tree Tavern,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just no question. For me, I'm not a foodie. I do love my Thanksgiving meal that I pretty much get there. I think it's called the Pilgrim's Feast, if I remember right.
Yeah.
It's got turkey, potatoes, and they just keep bringing the food, right? I haven't eaten there now. It's been probably about 6 years. We ate there at the Halloween party right before COVID. Doreen and Mikhail and I, we dressed up like pirates, brought our old pirate costumes back out again. Yeah, there's other restaurants I like, but that one to me, as long as they don't change a lot of things to it, I love the atmosphere. The service is always fantastic. The food's always good. Never had a bad meal, and I've eaten there a lot. So it's definitely has to be Liberty Tree Tavern.
Okay, yeah. Yep, it's a family favorite for sure. And then what about your favorite memory as a kid at Disney?
Well, as a kid, I didn't go 1,000 times like you guys
Yeah.
did. I went to Disneyland just to review one day, one time in 1970 in the summer, and then twice as a kid, when I say kid, as a teenager in the 70s, to Magic Kingdom in Orlando. So there was 3 times I went over the course of the first 20 years of my life. Okay. So there's
Yeah.
the comparison is totally different here than Regan and of yours, of course, that have gone a lot and still continue to go a lot. My favorite memory, it's at Disneyland. The first time I rode the Haunted Mansion, it blew me away. And I think I mentioned on the other podcast, I came back home that summer. We did a spook house, pretended it was a haunted mansion. Wasn't close, but we did some fun stuff in our garage. But I just couldn't get enough haunted mansion stuff, and I've done a lot of research over the years on it, and how they do all the sight gags and all the fun stuff, and all the Imagineers. It'll always be the Disneyland version, even though I love the one at Magic Kingdom. Don't get me wrong, here in Orlando, but just because I went on that, and I think Walt probably saw some of that design work early on, before he passed away. But unfortunately, didn't get a chance to see the finished product, that or Pirates, which is kind of sad. But yeah, it'll always be the Disneyland's Haunted Mansion, hands down.
Okay, what about as an adult?
Oh boy, there's a lot of memories. Probably the first time that we took you guys to Florida, you were real young. I don't think it was Regan. I think your mom was pregnant with Regan. So
Yeah.
he wasn't really there. He was kind of there, but not really there yet.
Yeah.
Probably the first time we went, never seen Epcot. Seen Epcot for the first time in '96. That's when we went down to visit my parents who wintered down in Florida. Seen the Magic Kingdom again. The last time I was there was 1978. Okay, we're talking 18 years before I got a
Yeah.
chance to go back there. It's my first time to see Epcot was 1996. So that was very special. I remember we walked all over. We went to all the parks. It was wonderful. I think we were there for a number of days and stayed at a couple of hotels there. That's special. And of course, dressing up like pirates. And Olivia, you didn't join us on that. A few times we dressed up like pirates.
Yeah.
Uh, Pretty much the whole family, my mother-in-law, my wife, my Megan, my stepdaughter, David, Regan, my son. I mean, we all dressed up like pirates, and it was awesome. We had our pictures taken and made Michaela's stroller into a pirate ship, which is pretty authentic. It took me a number of weeks to make it. And they let me take that in there, which I was kind of surprised by. They're like, as long as there's no rum underneath, joking around with me at the turnstile. But we took that. We did it 4 years in a row. We went as pirates, and I was Jack Sparrow, and we had the whole thing going on. We spent a lot of money on our costumes, and yeah, we had some great times with that too. So that's another great time. But I think the very first time I went with you guys, after not being there for so long, was probably the most special time.
Okay, good. Yeah, I actually thought you were gonna say the pirates, so that doesn't surprise me. Just because those costumes were like you said, so elaborate, and the pirate ship, that's awesome. But yeah, very cool. And then what about your favorite hotel that you have stayed in?
Hands down, Wilderness Lodge.
Okay, yeah,
I
I
love
thought
I
that was
love
gonna be
the
your answer.
national park vibe. You've been out to California recently, did some national park stuff. I like that whole vibe. I love going, the Grand Canyon, different places we've gone over the last couple of years. I just like that feeling of being out in the beautiful forests, and I realize it's Florida. The totem poles inside, all the things they did inside it, just that lobby is just amazing. The pool's amazing. It's hands down. We only been there once a number of years ago, but I would love to go there again.
Yeah, that's a cool one to go back to. And then what about the dream hotel that you haven't stayed in? If money was no object, what hotel would you want to stay in?
Well, there's one I like to stay in, but they don't let you stay in it. And I'll get to that. Probably the Polynesian. I've
Okay.
never been. I've never been. And it's pricey. They're all pricey. So you have to kind of throw that out the window to some degree.
Yeah.
But I would like to stay at the Polynesian for a couple of nights. I think that would be fun because I really like that whole kind of tiki vibe that's going on there. And it's one of the original hotels from 1971, right? So that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. I've already stayed at the Contemporary, did all that, and that was fine. But there's something about the Polynesian vibe that's pretty awesome. But the other place I'd like to stay, where a lot of us would like to stay, is a little apartment in the castle.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
But you can't, right? Money can't buy that, so I got to leave that out. But I think that would be probably the ultimate overnight stay anywhere at any Disney park.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I thought maybe you were gonna say, which would be my like, you can't stay there, but I would, Tower of Terror. I would love to like if they had
Oh,
some kind of room in the Tower of Terror, stay there.
yeah,
That
that's a
would
good
be
idea.
awesome. Okay, what about your favorite after hours event?
We're birds of a feather, Olivia. Halloween party. Mickey's not so scary. It always will be. Again, we had great times with all of you. Had great times with Michaela and Doreen doing all the dressing up and all that. I just think it's so well done. It's a little oversold. It's gotten really pricey. I wish
Yeah.
Disney would get their act together with ticket price. That's a whole nother rant that I have. They really got to work on that because they're gonna. I think they've lost a lot of people over the years, probably to Universal, and they'll lose more if they don't get the pricing adjusted. Especially their special event pricing is really over the top.
Crazy. Yeah.
And it used to be you could go there and go on all the rides you wanted, and it would be very little lines and go through all the candy lines. And now it's just the last time we went, that was 5 years ago. It was a madhouse. There were so many people, and you had to wait in line for rides and stuff a lot longer. It was just oversold. And so that would still be my favorite. Clearly not the Christmas one. That wasn't working for me.
Which I'm surprised because you're a big Christmas guy. So but yeah, this Halloween night is way better in my opinion too.
Yeah, I like Halloween too. Christmas is my number one holiday, but it's not so much the holiday, just going to that party and people aren't chasing you with chainsaws like at other parks. It's
Yeah.
it's a quieter, simpler family fun thing, and that's more my kind of Halloween than it is people running around with their heads cut off. So
Exactly. Yeah. And what about your favorite park snack?
I had to think about this. One I've had a lot, one I've had very little, but I like. I have to probably go with the Dole Whip. I do like
Okay.
that, but I got to throw as honorable mention the old icy we used to get
Oh
all the
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I know he
The-
said he's like, well, you get that at 7-Eleven. Yeah, you can, but there's something about it. We always used to get it at the lunging pad right underneath the people mover. That was a classic. So I always like those two.
I don't think I told you this, but when we were at Disneyland, the kids had fallen asleep in the stroller and we were waiting for the nighttime parade, and their like sweets shop has an icy machine. And so I went in there and got a Coke and cherry mixed icy and sat there and drank it on Main Street. And it was so
Perfect.
good. It was so
Perfect.
good. So I agree. That's a
That's
good
great.
one. Okay, so where do we go from here? So we do have some fun ideas for guests on the podcast, as well as some fun series that are upcoming. We've teased this a little bit, but in a few weeks we will be starting a Parks of the Future series where we will get to sit in the Imagineering seat and come up with some spaces for what we would do for future attractions, restaurants, shows in each park. We are also starting a series called Nostalgic Nights, where I have guests watch a Disney movie that I love for their first time and talk about it. So we look forward to that here soon. We do also have a World's Fair series coming up here shortly, and that might be next. We're still working out schedules on things, but just to talk about Disney's history with the World Fair, Walt Disney, and everything that came out of it for the parks. So those are coming up, and we'd obviously love to see our show grow as well. So, for the next year of episodes, we are going to move over to a Would You Rather instead of our old versus new. And so, we would love to have some new listener questions. And so, for your required entry into the giveaway that we're doing for our 1 year, please comment a Would You Rather Disney related question for us to answer on future episodes, either on today's Instagram post, YouTube, or Spotify comments. And that will get you your required entry for the giveaway. But I did reach out to some of my friends within the podcast community. And the first person to respond back to me right away with one of the Would You Rathers was Idiot's Guide to Imagineering. So Stephen, Katie, and Marissa. And I told them basically the prompt was like, this could be totally unhinged or this could be something very basic. And of course, they chose something totally unhinged, which I love. So, would you rather sit through the Hall of Presidents with no air conditioning on a
Ugh.
100-degree park day, or get your shoes and socks submerged in a rush of water on the Cali River Rapids as your first ride of the day?
Oh,
I was like, yes, I love this level of enthusiasm for this question.
oh God, yeah. It's actually really interesting because like this weekend they were asking if there were any water rides, and I was like, well, only we only picked Tiana's. Like that's the only one that we have on the list for the day, and I was like, we could do Cali if you want, but it'd be like at 8:30 in the morning,
Uh,
and then if something happens, you're just kind of screwed for like the next 6 to 7 hours as your feet
drying off.
dry or your body dries, and they were like, no, never. I definitely choose the Hall of Presidents in 100-degree heat. Like I worked in kitchens for most of my life, and so I'm familiar with just being miserable in heat. And it would be over much quicker than walking around because you think that it's over once your feet dry and stuff, but then you have like your feet are raw, and then you're gonna be
Yeah,
walking on that for the rest of the day, and your feet will literally it'll be miserable for at least 24 hours.
that's true.
Um, so I definitely choose Hall of Presidents in 100-degree heat.
Which one would you rather do, Dad?
Well, I'm a history buff, so I'll sit there, and I live in Florida, so I survive 100-degree heat all the time. I'll sit in there with I'll hang with Abe Lincoln and George Washington and Trump and all the guys. We'll just hang out and sweat to death. Yeah, getting all wet on Cali River Rapids. Again, I did that one time years ago. I got so soaked, I didn't have any spare clothes. You could go buy some, I guess, but it was not fun. So I would definitely sit in the hot heat.
Good choice. Yeah, that's hard for me because I don't love being wet, but I really think I would suffocate in Hall of Presidents. I don't do well with heat, but then part of me is like, well, it's pretty much 100 degrees outside every day. So what's, 20 minutes without air conditioning? I feel like maybe I could do that.
There you
So
go.
Yeah, I hear you there. That's a good option. So again, in order to get into the giveaway for the $25 gift card, lanyard, and sticker, please comment a would you rather question. The more unhinged, the better, but whatever you guys want to comment so we can use those for our future episodes. So thank you guys again so much for listening to the podcast over the last year and supporting us and our growth. Remember, in order to get entered into the giveaway, follow us on Instagram. And once you follow us, send me a message saying this is for the giveaway. Subscribe to us, whether that's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, and leave us a comment or review. Then send a screenshot of that subscription and comment or review to our Instagram and share our giveaway reel to your stories on Instagram and tag us in the story post. We hope that you guys have a great week. And just for old time's sake, since Regan was on again today, we're going to soar on out of here.
Oh.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to give us a follow on Instagram at Soarin Around WDW Pod, where we share fun reels, throwback photos, and dive into our old versus new debates. If you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. And for our Spotify listeners, a follow and a 5-star review would mean the world. If you're listening on Apple, hit that 5-star button and leave us a written review as well. Thanks again for joining us. See you next time.